All right, I bought some books. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Theo, and today I have a special one for you guys because it's quite the book haul. It's probably one of my bigger book hauls, and in fact, it'll probably be one of the bigger ones that you'll see on this channel. I'm really limited right now in terms of shelf space. I've been trying to get a new bookshelf for a while, but a lot of as you guys know, the stores are out of stock and supply chain issues and all that kind of thing. So for now, especially, I'm trying to refrain from buying every book that I see or every book that I think I'll enjoy. Even though we're all the same here, it's really hard not to just, buy all of them. But I have acquired quite a few over the last, I would say maybe month and a half ish. And I want to share some of those with you guys because some of them are on my TBR for the next month. And a lot of them I'm going to try and get to in the next, probably in the latter half of this year. So without further ado, I'm just going to start with the first one on the list here. And that is Never Die by I think it's Rob J. Hayes. And so this is the first book in the Mortal Techniques trilogy, the Mortal Techniques series. The covers on these are really, really cool. And it's kind of a short book too. And so for those reasons, it was really, really hard for me not to just go out and buy the 3-book set. But I thought, you know what? I'll start with this one. I'll see if I like it. What intrigued me about this one is Patrick Leo had a rave review on this one. I know a couple of people who've enjoyed this. It's a small commitment. It's a short book. It's it's an epic hero fantasy, Asian inspired, kind of samurai anime influenced, martial arts influenced fantasy story. So for me, it seems like this would be right up my alley, to be honest with you guys. So I'm really excited. I'm going to try and fit this one in again because it's quite short, and I've just been intrigued by this one for quite some time. I've heard good things, some mixed things, but on the whole, this one has had a pretty good reception. So I'm very excited to get to this one at some point in the near future. Now, the second one on the list here is a book that I saw talked about quite a bit here recently on BookTube. I've seen a couple reviews. And to be honest with you, when I saw it in the bookstore, it immediately caught my eye. I don't know what that says about me, but I read the back of it and I thought that seems like kind of a unique fantasy story. So I picked it up, Googled a little bit more about it, and I ended up seeing a review by Andrew over at Andrew's Wizardly Reads. And also I believe Nico did one as well. I didn't want to read up too much about it, but basically, this creature or monster or whatever, is loose in this land and attacking these people. And so, a band of warriors kind of go out and try to defeat this thing. And only one of them comes back, but he has a bit of a different story to tell than what people actually think happened. And years later, apparently this monster comes back and everyone's tapping this guy on the shoulder like, hey, remember that monster that you defeated back in the day? Do you want to just go and do that again? And he has a bit of a different story to tell as to what actually happened. And I think he's a bit of a reluctant hero. He has a bit of survivor's guilt and a bit of trauma and PTSD about what happened. And now he's having to go and try and save the land again. And so this one seems like a kind of a unique take. Very, very reluctant hero. And the cover is actually quite pretty. They just came out with some new, I think, special editions. I can't remember who put them out, but I think is it the Broken Binding? No, it's not the Broken Binding. Anyway, but yeah, so this one caught my eye in the bookstore. I saw a couple reviews, thought this one sounded very interesting. So I went ahead and picked that up as well. The next book is probably not a shock. I've seen this around YouTube for quite some time now. Jimmy had a rave review about it. My friend Alex over at Tall Guy Reads, read by Kyle, a couple people, RJ Gibson, a couple booktubers, again, that I follow quite closely have raved about this book. And the second book in this series, some people have said that it's their favorite book ever. And so that is very high praise from people that I consider to be fairly well read in the fantasy genre. And that is book 1 of the Dandelion Dynasty, which is The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. I'm not even going to try and tell you guys much about this. I don't know much about it myself, but what I do know is that it is very, very well written. I believe this is his debut, if I'm not mistaken. It was a Nebula finalist, as you can see, which is quite a thing. And it is Asian sort of inspired from what I understand. It's a very political based fantasy. And so this one, I've heard rave reviews. The other 2 books are out. It's a completed trilogy as far as I know. So this one was also one that was very difficult for me not to go out and buy the other two in the series. But I'm going to try the first one, and if what everyone says is true, I'm going to really, really enjoy this one. So I'm excited for this one, Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. The next one is also one for which I have seen rave reviews on BookTube, and one that has intrigued me for some time, and I've wanted to pick this up for a while now. And it's one that's set in an environment and a setting that I'm sort of craving right now for some reason, and that is sort of a desert, sort of Egyptian setting. And that one is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakrabarty. Now, this one I don't know too much about other than the setting. I have an idea in my mind of what the setting is like from what people have said. And I know that there's magic in it. It takes place in, like I said, Egypt, sand, Cairo, think of that type of setting. In fact, I think it's Cairo. It is Cairo. Sort of like a bit of a fantastical Cairo. It has magic in it. It has jinns in it. So this one is one that I've been eyeing for a while. The cover is gorgeous. And because I picked this one up and because I found the other two on sale, which also have beautiful covers, I went out and bought the other two. Can't remember which one's which. I think this is book 2, The Kingdom of Copper, and book 3, The Empire of Gold. I'm not sure if that's right or wrong, but anyway, I got these two to complete the Daevabad trilogy by S.A. Chakrabarty, and I'm so excited. There's actually a read-along that a friend of mine, Crow, is hosting over at Mike's Book Reviews Discord, and so I'll be reading these with some friends of mine starting in the fall. And I'm super, super excited because, again, I've heard nothing but really good things about that. And it's a setting, like I said, that I'm sort of craving right now. For some reason, I started playing Assassin's Creed Origins, and I want just a little bit more like Egyptian sort of vibes. Now, on that note, I've seen a posting that mentioned that the next book was actually the Nebula Award winner for Best Novel for 2021. And it's sort of in the same theme, and it is A Master of Jinn. And this is by P. Jelly Clark. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but this one is also one that sort of gives me the same sort of vibes as this one. Jinn, Egypt, sand, history, this sort of environment. And so this is another one that I think will fit the bill for what I've been craving lately. And if the Nebula Award is anything to go by, this one should be a fantastic read. So I'm excited to pick this one up. The cover is gorgeous as well. And so I picked that one up in order to piggyback a little bit off of the Egyptian style fantasy craving that I've been having lately. Now, the next two books were sent to me by an incredible friend of mine and subscriber to the channel. By the way, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. And throw a like on the video because apparently that helps stuff. So that would be awesome. But yeah, she sent me a really nice care package with a wonderful card, a note, and I don't know if you can see this well enough, but a really, really cool bookmark that I like. And the first book is, well, actually, I'll just show you both. So she got me The City of Dusk and the first book in the Godblind trilogy. This one is by Anna Stevens, and The City of Dusk is by Tara Sim. And so I know a little bit about each one. I actually missed a read-along for Godblind on Mike's channel earlier. I think it was earlier this year, or I think it was last year. I'm so bad with time. But anyway, this one I don't know much about, but I've heard that it was pretty cool. And on the back it says, bathed in blood, ruled by anger, banished thousands of years ago, the time has come for the veil between worlds to be broken and for the red gods to unleash their fury. So this one sounds pretty cool. I know some people who really enjoyed this one, so I'm eager to pick this one up. And City of Dusk is actually one that has been on my radar for quite some time. I think I have an idea of what the aesthetic might be like. There is a bit of an illustration on the back. I've deliberately not read too much about what these books are about. But The City of Dusk, it has a gorgeous cover, as does this one, to be honest with you. And this one I've seen at the bookstore plenty of times, and I've always wanted to pick it up. For some reason, I just haven't. So thank you so much, Steph. I really, really appreciate you. I don't know when I'll get to these ones. This one is a little bit smaller, although this one has been on my radar for quite some time, and I would like to prioritize this one. So I don't know when I'll fit them in. I might get to this one this year, but if I don't, trust me, they are on the TBR shelf, and I'm very, very excited to own them. So thank you so much. The next one is a beautiful edition. It is the second omnibus volume bind up of the next couple books in the Elric Saga series by Michael Moorcock. And this one is actually, I think they both are, but this one is, illustrated. It has beautiful illustrations in it. It's quite the bind up. I think it has the next 2 or 3 books in the series. I have never read Michael Moorcock before. I've heard about the Elric saga. I've never read any of the books that were released a long time ago. And these bind ups are kind of a nice thing to have. They're illustrated, they're nice, they contain the books in the order that they're meant to be read in. And so I'm excited to get to that one. I've heard a lot of comparisons between this and The Witcher. I've heard that, Geralt of Rivia was a derivation, or at least in some way based on the Elric character in these Moorcock books. So I'm excited to pick up the first one at some point. I'm hoping to fit that one in actually this year. So the next 2 are the final 2. And now I did a review for the first book in this trilogy, and I was so impressed by it that I had to go out and buy the other 2, obviously. And those are An Echo of Things to Come and The Light of All That Falls by James Islington. These are the second and third book in the Licanius trilogy. And so far, I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the magic system in the world very much, and the characters. And I just think it's a very unique story. And I think it's quite an impressive debut series by this author. And so I went out and I bought those other 2 books. I'm reading An Echo of Things to Come next month in June. So this will be part of my June TBR. And I'm hoping that I will like it as much as I like the first, if not more. So that is my large physical book haul, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I neglected some of my digital purchases. I did buy a couple digital books, but I might just do another video on those because I did buy quite a few, including, for example, Black Echo, which is the first Harry Bosch book by Michael Connelly. I also bought some of the accompanying novellas for the Master of Jinn book that I showed. There's a couple novellas that are meant to, I think, be read before, which give you a bit of an overview of the world and that kind of thing. And so I bought those. But again, I just wanted to show you my physical books today. And yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, if there's any of these that I should be prioritizing. Have you read any of them? Are you thinking about picking any of these up? I know a couple of these are quite popular right now. So let me know if you've read them. What did you think? And again, are there any that I should prioritize? I'm open to that sort of feedback. I only have so much time to read books. And so I want to prioritize the ones that I think I'll enjoy the most, and the ones that have been, recommended to me by friends of mine that sort of have similar tastes. So without rambling anymore, that is it for me, guys. I appreciate you being here. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will catch you guys on the next one.